Have you ever felt that sudden heaviness in your chest, the kind that arrives only when the world finally goes quiet, when the notifications stop, and you're left alone with the version of yourself you've been avoiding? That heaviness isn't random. It isn't weakness. It isn't overthinking. It's actually the first emergency signal your brain sends when it knows, long before you admit it, that you're wasting your life. Most people don't recognize the signal. They drown it in distractions. They scroll until their eyes burn. They keep themselves busy with tasks that don't matter. They convince themselves everything is fine. But the brain doesn't lie. It doesn't negotiate. It whispers the truth you refuse to say out loud. This isn't who you're supposed to be. Neuroscience shows that when your daily habits drift too far from your deeper values, the anterior cingulate cortex activates, creating a type of psychological friction we mistake for sadness, boredom, or existential anxiety. It's cognitive dissonance, the emotional pain that comes from living in a way that contradicts your potential. And the reason it feels so subtle is because the brain rarely shouts. It prefers to whisper. It whispers through late-night restlessness, through sudden waves of emptiness you can't explain, through that dull ache that shows up when you realize you're repeating the same day over and over. That discomfort you keep trying to escape. It's not a sign you're broken. It's a sign you're awakening. Humans are unique because we can imagine a future self, a more capable, more alive, more fulfilled version of who we could be. And the pain you feel isn't coming from who you are. It's coming from the widening gap between who you are and who you know you should be. The brain senses this gap like a pressure change. It notices when you silence your curiosity. It notices when you shrink your dreams to fit your fear. It notices when you stay in relationships, routines, or environments you've long outgrown. Even when you pretend life is fine, your brain is tracking every mismatch between your potential and your reality. And eventually, the signal becomes impossible to ignore. It transforms into the feeling that time is slipping through your fingers, into the fear that life is moving but you aren't. The truth is, your brain detects misalignment long before your conscious mind even understands what's wrong. It knows when you're living on autopilot. It knows when your environment is suffocating you. It knows when your ambition is shrinking to keep the peace. And because the brain is built for survival, not fulfillment, it tries to correct your path using discomfort, restlessness, and emotional pressure. But here's the twist. Most people misread this signal and call it anxiety, procrastination, depression, or laziness. In reality, it's a psychological alarm. It's your mind saying, "You're living too small, and I can't pretend anymore." And the longer you ignore it, the heavier it becomes. That heaviness turns into emotional numbness, into chronic fatigue, into the feeling that nothing excites you anymore. You start avoiding mirrors, conversations, silence, because deep down you know silence is the only place the truth can reach you. Your brain isn't trying to punish you. It's trying to pull you back to the path you abandoned. It's trying to remind you of the version of yourself you buried under comfort, routine, and fear. It knows when you've stopped showing up for your own life. It knows when you're no longer the main character but a background extra in your own story. But here's the part most people never realize. The signal you're avoiding is also the door to your transformation. That heaviness. It's a message. An invitation. A turning point. It's your brain saying, you deserve more. You're capable of more. You're meant for more. Every life-changing transformation begins with that uncomfortable moment where you finally admit, this can't continue. And the pain feels so sharp because it's honest. Because deep down, beneath every excuse and distraction, you already know the truth. You've been postponing the life you're meant to live. You've been hiding your potential. You've been delaying the version of yourself you dream about at night. And now your brain is refusing to let you forget it. This feeling is the bill for every passion you've ignored, every habit you abandoned, every dream you talked yourself out of. But it's also the spark. The moment where your life can shift. The moment where you stop drifting and start choosing. So the real question is not whether your brain is sending you a signal, it clearly is. The real question is, will you keep avoiding the discomfort? Or will you finally listen to the part of you that still believes you can become the person you were meant to be? Because your brain isn't trying to scare you. It's trying to wake you up. And the day you stop running from the signal and start understanding it, that is the day your real life finally begins.